Hey there my friends, Eric Andreas, your Guitar Sage here. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Very quickly, I wanted to tell you a bit about the Ultimate Guitar Guide, Book 1. Now, this is the book that I refer to in my YouTube videos as the ebook or ebook 1 or part 1. And I wanted to tell you very quickly about how this book came about. So as you know, I've taught hundreds of students for thousands of hours over several decades here. I'm coming up on 30 years of playing and nearly that many years of teaching. I took to guitar very quickly, and within a couple years was teaching friends in high school and throughout college and what have you. So this is something that I'm very passionate about. I'm very passionate about guitar. I'm very passionate about teaching. And so as a youth, I took many lessons from different teachers, went to college, went to all sorts of schools to learn about music. And what I learned from taking these lessons and from going to school and from teaching lessons for so many years is there's really a core set of information or a core set of lessons that every guitar player on the entire planet should know. I don't care if they're a rock player, blues, jazz, doesn't matter. These are essential pieces of information that every player must know, beginners to advanced. Now, even though ebook 1 is built mainly for beginners and it starts with beginner concepts, there's information that even advanced players who have holes in their playing will find useful. So, learning from this book, learning from book 1 is going to allow you to save an immense amount of time and money because I've created a step-by-step method in this book that if you learn it by page, if you do this, you cannot fail. You're going to learn these concepts and they're going to serve you for years to come. So, without further ado, let's delve into the details of Book 1. All right, my friends, let's take a look at ebook 1, also known as the Ultimate Guitar Guide Part 1. This is that same book that I talk about in all my videos. It's the document that I feel every guitar player should have. Not just beginners, but also those players that when they play, they realize that there are holes in their playing, whether that's in their music theory, their knowledge of the guitar, or in their technique. This book uncovers so many things in a very short amount of time. So, as you know from my teaching, I like to be very concise, to the point, save a lot of time. And over the decades that I've taught guitar, the hundreds of students, the thousands of hours, I specifically said, I want to put together a document that will allow players to dig in, understand the guitar in a very quick way without them having to read hundreds of pages, but still be able to truly understand the guitar in a way that will carry them for years. And I do this through chapters like the anatomy of the guitar. This diatonic harmony is basically music theory in a nutshell. So every musician, not just guitarists, should understand these basic principles that I have in here. I start off with these definitions to know as we're going to be using them throughout the book. Show you where the notes fall on the fretboard as opposed to the musical staff. And I have a way in showing this to you in a way that you're not going to forget. We talk about how to read chord stamps and the different ways in which you're going to see chord stamps and the way to decipher those. There's a section on how to play open chords. Open chords are those chords where we have open strings playing, unlike bar chords. Open chords are much easier to play, and if you understand the few chords that I have here that are crucial for playing millions of songs, this is going to unlock a whole world of guitar playing, of learning songs for you. Understanding how to use the capo is the part 2 of that, if you will, so that you can use these open chords in any key, even when you run into a song with bar chords. I include this capo key chart here for you for easy access and understanding how to change keys with the capo. Strumming seems to be the bane of so many guitar players, and in this chapter, How to Master Strumming Quickly and Easily, I break down the whole process for you, as well as including 5 levels of exercises that if you do this, you'll never fail at strumming again. Also, notice throughout the book, you're going to see hyperlinks like this throughout the book, and that's going to allow you to click on those and be able to go to a video representation of exactly what I'm talking about. So this book is not just these great pictures and these descriptions of what it is that I want to teach you. You're also getting interactive video so that you can go straight to it right when you're in the subject, no wasting time, super succinct. I show you how to read chord charts. These are the same chord charts and the same ways of thinking that I've taught my students for decades, where they always say, ever since you showed me that, Eric, I truly understand how music works. And I go over in step-by-step detail how to understand how to read chord charts, the same chord charts that studio musicians use here in Nashville. Along with those descriptions, I actually have chord chart examples. These are songs that have actually been used before in the studio and are perfect for you to understand this method of reading chord charts. And these specific songs relate directly to the chapter that I just showed you, where I'm describing those charts in detail. These are our examples that we'll be using for those. How to practice chord charts. You've heard the example, or you've heard the phrase before, practice makes perfect. Well, there's one that trumps that says, perfect practice makes perfect. And I totally agree with that one, because you can practice the wrong thing over and over and over again, and you're not going to get to your end goal. Whereas if you practice something perfectly, that's when perfection happens. Okay? And I specifically talk to you here in this chapter about how to practice those chord charts to where you can truly master not only reading chord charts, but how to understand music and songs in a whole new way that you've probably never thought of before. I also cover the Nashville number system chart, which I cover the detail of that in the previous chapter, but here's that matrix for you. I talk about chord noodling improvisation, which you've seen me do this before. You've seen other guitar players do this before, where they're playing chords, they're embellishing those chords at the same time, and or playing melodies inside the chords. Almost sounds like two guitar players. And in this way, this is what I call chord noodling. And in this chapter, I show you exactly how to understand that and how to accomplish this. In addition, again, we've got hyperlinks that will help you understand this with video support. Chord noodling maps that support that chapter. As well, lastly here at the end, when I was a new guitar player, when I was a teenager, I was constantly scratching on paper. I constantly needed blank tablature paper, blank chord stamp templates, and blank fretboard templates. Because of that, I was constantly writing down different chords, different scales, different ideas and diagrams that I discovered in my playing as a guitar player. And I know you're going to be doing the same, and I want you to have those. So lastly, you can print these up and be writing out your discoveries as you're learning the guitar as well.